After a nearly long-year battle over the state's lucrative lottery technology contract, IGT and Twin River are calling a truce. The casino and gaming technology firm announcing today they're joining forces. This despite months of bitter disagreement over whether IGT's 20-year contract with the state should be put out to bid. Eyewitness News reporter Kim Kalunian joins us now with more on how they reached the resolution and the terms of the deal. Kim?
Well, Mike, today the leaders of IGT and Twin River were quick to put the bad blood behind them, saying after they aired their grievances, they were able to come to an agreement about how to manage one of the state's most lucrative operations.
A major step forward for IGT and Twin River, but more importantly, a major step forward for the state of Rhode Island.
A kumbaya moment for gaming technology company IGT and Twin River Casino.
I think it's fair to ask, how did this happen?
IGT's Bob Vincent says Senate President Dominic Ruggiero played a crucial role in bringing the parties together to negotiate. The partnership comes after the governor's plan to extend IGT's control of the state's gambling systems for another 20 years spurred Twin River to call it a, quote, secret no-bid contract that they said would hurt Rhode Island taxpayers. The bitter public battle waging on amid a series of legislative hearings on the matter. But as the saying goes, if you can't beat them, join them.
It became very clear to us that the state wanted to continue with IGT.
The proposal, if approved by the General Assembly, would ensure IGT keeps 1,100 jobs in Rhode Island and would give Twin River the control they sought over some slot machines. It would also see an expansion of Twin River's hotel and casino in Lincoln, including greater separation between smoking and non-smoking areas. Both sides agree that what happened to get here is water under the bridge.
We don't look back with any regrets as to what we did. We did what we did. We thought that was in the best interest of the company, and now we think this very much is in the best interest of our ways going forward.
This deal would take effect in 2022, but it is contingent on the General Assembly's support. Coming up new at 6, what legislative leaders and the governor are saying about the proposal. For now, live in studio, I'm Kim Kalunian, Eyewitness News.
For local coverage now tonight, lawmakers are reacting after a bitter battle between the state's two gaming giants ends with a truce. We've been tracking the feud between IGT and Twin River for months. Today, they announced they're joining forces, putting an end to a disagreement about the future of gambling in Rhode Island. Eyewitness News reporter Kim Kalunian joins us now live in studio with what state leaders had to say. Kim?
Well, Mike, both IGT and Twin River credited Senate President Dominic Ruggiero for facilitating the peace talks between them. Now it's up to the General Assembly and the governor whether this deal will be approved. The state's top lawmakers pleased Twin River and IGT have come to an agreement.
I'm very enthused as to the two great entities that we have in the state getting together and trying to resolve whatever differences they might have.
The 20-year deal would ensure IGT keeps 1,100 jobs in Rhode Island and would give Twin River the control they sought over some slot machines. It would also see an expansion of Twin River's hotel and casino in Lincoln, the two companies agreeing to join forces after months of bitter public sparring.
There was the effect of competition in the fall to forge this new partnership that works. It's not one company, it's two people that have a voice in that company.
I credited the Senate President with stepping forward and hosting us to talk.
I think the only way you can work out a resolution is if the parties sit down and get together. As I said, they're both very two important entities to the state, and they contribute a lot of money to state coffers.
I'll dig into the details.
Governor Gina Raimondo had been in favor of extending IGT's contract, saying on Thursday she'll analyze the new proposal with a fine-tooth comb.
It's clearly better for Twin River. You know, they've managed for themselves to get a 23-year extension. They've managed better economics for themselves. That could be fine. I have to make sure it's just as good or better for taxpayers.
And Twin River also said today the company will be relocating its headquarters to the capital city. Eyewitness News confirmed they are working out a deal to expand at 100 Westminster Street in downtown Providence. Live in studio, I'm Kim Kalunian, Eyewitness News.